Leave it. I know, you gotta leave it. You gotta leave it. I know. You don't like to leave it, do you? Hi everyone. Today we're going to make a top blade flat iron steak in the air fryer. Hi, my name is Anita and this is my channel where I show you how I lost 145 pounds by following a meat-based ketogenic diet. I always get super excited when I go to the store and there's a cut of meat there that I've never seen before and have never had the chance to try before. So this happened to me a couple of days ago. They were selling at the local grocery store what they are calling top blade flat iron steak. I had no idea what that was, but I just knew that never seen it, never tried it. So I brought it home. I made a couple of them and these are super, super tender. This is like eating tenderloin for a fraction of the price. This is just over $7 a pound. Cheaper than ribeye, cheaper than tenderloin, cheaper than strip loin, cheaper than most of the quality steaks. Yet I can see this easily becoming one of my favorite steaks. Now, there is an issue with the wording, and I don't know if we do it different here in Canada. The label clearly says top blade flat iron steak. When I find a new cut of meat that I've never tried before, I reference this book. This is a great reference book. Thank you, Melissa, for this gift that you gave me because it is indispensable for carnivores, I think. So I looked it up, and according to this book, it should be either a blade steak, a top blade steak, or a flat iron steak. So here's my dilemma. The description in the book describes the flat iron steak as being one of the most tender steaks you'll ever eat. That is exactly how I felt when I ate the steak. However, the picture looks like their blade steak, and I'll just open it up here so I can show you what I'm talking about. The flat iron steak in their picture just looks like meat, just a steak. But this one has this seam running down the middle. Both these steaks have a seam running down the middle, and that is the picture that they show of the blade steak. And they say that this steak needs to be braised or cooked in a different way, whereas the flat iron needs to be grilled or seared. So here's the thing. I didn't know that. Like I just cooked it and then I looked it up. But when I cooked it, I just cooked it as I would a very tender steak. I just seared it on both sides. I left it rare in the middle. It was the most tender steak I've ever eaten, except for that middle piece, which was very tough. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to cook it the way I thought to cook it, which was delicious. I'm going to cook it as though it's a flat iron, but I'm going to remove this middle part. And that's perfect for my dogs. They eat a meat diet now, carnivore, you know, all basically half cooked, half raw meat. So I'm going to give them the middle part of these steaks, and I'm going to cook it in the air fryer. I made steak bites this morning for breakfast out of one of the other flat iron steaks that I had. It was delicious. So let me show you what I'm going to do here for the dogs and for me. So basically this book says it's two different steaks. It's somehow been combined into one steak. I don't know. Maybe if any of you are meat people out there, if you're a butcher or you know something that I don't know, I would love to find out what this really is. I'm just going to cut right down here. I'm basically going to be cooking these steak strips. The dogs are so lucky. They loved it. I'm just cutting that tough seam right out of it. So I've got these two pieces for the dogs. Dogs can have raw fat. And so this is basically in the middle. This is a little bit of fat and it's mostly gristle. If I was to low and slow cook this, the gristle would of course get soft, but I want these medium rare to rare steaks. They're so tender. I'm going to chop up this meat, fat, and gristle for the dogs, and they'll have this as part of their dinner tonight. I'm just going to make some small cubes here. They are small dogs. They are anticipating this. Teddy is excited. He already knows how good this is. That is going to be your dinner later. Okay, so what we're left with now is these 4 strips, and this is what I'm going to cook. Let's get the air fryer going. I'm going to cook it. I want it sort of a high heat so that it quickly sears. I'm going to go to 425 on air crisp. I'm going to do 5 minutes. Your other option is to sear it in a cast iron pan if you don't have an air fryer. I would use a tablespoon of beef tallow and get this thing smoking hot, and then just cook it on each side for 2 to 3 minutes maximum. And then that'll be fine. If that gristle was not down the middle of the steak, you could cook the whole steak, but it is, so just adding a little bit of salt. Be right back in a few minutes. All right, let's take a look at these. So that was 5 minutes, 425. Gonna let them rest for a couple minutes. All right, let's take a look at this. It's been resting for a couple minutes. Now, I have to warn you, I do like my steaks rare, on the rare side. Oh, it's actually really a medium rare. All right, let's give it a test. It is truly delicious and tender, like tenderloin, I swear. My favorite way is to do it in steak bites. But I just wanted to show you that you could make kind of a whole steak, technically half a steak. So give this a try. I'm going to just tell you what the macros. It's about 50 calories an ounce. So really what I wanted to tell you was the ratio of fat, because it is lower in fat than some of the other steaks that I eat. It's between 58 and 60% fat, depending on which entry you choose from Cronometer, and whether you're choosing flat iron or top blade, they're about the same. And a ribeye is about 70-ish% fat, calories coming from fat, and the rest protein then. And so this is 60-40, ribeye is 70-30. So a little lower on the fat scale. So you could add, some butter or tallow or whatever. I do hope you look for this in the grocery store and give it a try. I'm on day 37 of Lion Diet, and it's exciting to me to find a different meat to cook. And so I've been enjoying this flat iron top blade, or is it top blade flat iron? I've been enjoying it for a few days now. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video. Who wants some steak? Here you go. There you go. Oh, good. Should we do a leave it, take it? Okay, I'm gonna put these down, and you guys are gonna leave it. Leave it. No, Pippi. Leave it. Lay down. Lay down. Leave it. I know, you gotta leave it. You gotta leave it. I know. You don't like to leave it, do you? Okay, take. Okay. Okay. All right, Pippi. All right, Pippi. There you go. Well, you got to get that all in there. That's kind of funny.
The description of the flat iron describes it as being one of the most tender steaks you'll ever faster. I gotta start that sentence because I didn't realize this was gonna make so much noise. I squirted the liquid everywhere. Well, he would bat the bells if he was desperate.